Why are his areolas so big? There's a TikTok trend going around right now where people are playing this sound
Let's hear it for the band of the year.
and following it up with things like,
Oh, there we go again. Here he goes. Breaks the door. There we go. Breaks the door.
brother, what is this? You're not strong because you can kick a door down. You're not tough because you can scare the person you probably told you were going to take care of. And adding on to all of that, if we get closer to the end,
Hey, look, do you see this? Toast is shivering.
she has a dog named Toast, who's probably just as scared of this man as she is. Congrats, dude. You're capable of making a woman in her own home and a tiny, tiny dog afraid of you. You are so manly. You are so special. What a great man you must be to be feared by the people who are supposed to love you. And she's not alone. If you click on the sound, we can scroll through tens, maybe hundreds of videos of women posting videos so similar to this. There are a few from men. The ones from men are usually just being cheated on. The ones from women are being cheated on, being gaslit, being abused verbally and or physically. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. These videos are going to be pretty hard to watch. I've gone through them already, so I'm not going to sit here and be surprised. But if it's something that's going to make you uncomfortable or something that you just can't see for other reasons, this is probably a good time to get out of here. That's okay. I'm not going to blame you for that. But I wanted to drop a warning before we do move on.
So you like
This, that's what you did.
you like the real Daniel, huh?
That's what you fucking do.
You like the real fucking Daniel.
That's what you fucking do.
The real Daniel, the guy who's willing to tear down doors. I'm sure that was said out of anger. And if you ask him who he is, he's not going to be like, the real me is this angry person who rips off doors and just scares the people in my own house. But if you're angry enough to say that the real you is this violent, extreme person, then the real you needs therapy. The real you needs to be far, far away from anyone else. You are one person. You don't get to just make the lives of other people harder. And there are going to be a couple of men who go, well, we don't know what she did before this. Okay. If as a man, your relationship is driving you to rip doors off their hinges, to knock doors down when they are locked, to scare your own dog, get out of that relationship. You're allowed to be mad. That's unfortunately part of life. Don't direct it at people smaller than you. Go live in the woods. Learn how to crochet. Move back in with your mom. Open a bank account. Binge every show on Netflix worth watching after you finish the rehearsal on HBO Max for the 15th time. Don't make a hobby out of being a violent person. That's not fun for anyone.
Being aggressive, you just broke the door. There you go again.
You like this shit. This is what you like. This is what Megan. This is how you like to be. You like to be the bitchy ass Megan and Candice be chill. You like to get me to this fucking point.
You're literally
Every
making.
fucking night.
Look, do you see this? Toast is shivering.
I don't give a
You like to be the Megan that gets me to this point. There are very few things that this man could say she did to warrant this reaction. If at the end of all this he says, she drowned our children in the bathtub, okay, I'm wrong. Underreaction. But you're so fragile that somebody hurts your feelings and makes you mad and this happens, dude? We've all been frustrated. Go cry in another room. Get in your car, drive away. Break up with them. Don't just stand there breaking things because you don't know how to control your own anger.
Look, do you see this? Toast is shivering.
I don't give a fuck.
Toast is shivering.
If anyone made my dog feel like that, it is over. There is no way for our relationship to recover from that. Ever. They all start with the same sound, so I'm not going to make you listen to it over and over again, but this is so far the most popular one. It's from this creator who in the middle of this video breaks up with their partner.
Believe it or not, I can beat the fuck out of you whenever I want.
Believe it or not, I can beat the fuck out of you whenever I want. There are two good responses to this. One, beat the fuck out of this man. Two, break up with him. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of the first one, but I'm also not the person in this situation.
Do whatever I want you. Stop.
What did you say?
I can beat the fuck out of you. I want you.
I think what he said is you could just listen, you know I love you. And then she asks him to repeat himself. And the man does. If you just told your partner you could beat the fuck out of them whenever you want, and they go, what did you just say? The best course of action is not to literally re-incriminate yourself. I'm glad he did, but probably the wrong thing to do when somebody asks you, hey, what did you do wrong? And you go, exactly this. What? What did you just say? Hey, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did wrong again. I'm going to whisper it because I know, my bad, I know that it was probably the wrong thing to say. It just slipped. Never even thought about it before.
Yeah, no, we're done. Like, I'm being dead ass.
Immediately followed by, yeah, no, we're done. And I love like the Gen Z generation because they end that super serious moment with, I'm being dead ass. That's just so funny to me. Good for her. That goes for everyone, whether you're a man, a woman, or non-binary. No one should ever speak to you like this, especially not your romantic partner. But it is videos like this why we get comments like, male loneliness equals women's safety with 81,000 likes. And if you as a man don't like that comment, it is your job to make sure you're never the reason somebody posts a comment like that and has an overwhelming amount of people agree with them. And someone is going to say, not all men. Sure, not every single man. However, when the first thing you do is walk into this comment section and instead of going, damn, that sucks, glad you got out, it's to say, not all men, all men. You're part of the problem if you see the problem and go, well, it just doesn't matter to me. I would never do that. No, I'm not going to say what he did is wrong. It's literally the first reply. Male loneliness equals women's safety. Bro, not all males are like this. Like your first reply, dude, was to say, nuh-uh, instead of just going, yeah, dude, that guy sucks. No congrats on getting out of there. No good job for standing up for yourself. No good job making him repeat himself and then leaving him. Just not all men. I think it's a pretty easy test. Let's say it's not you, but let's say you saw this video and it was your friend. It was one of your best friends. Are you still going to be friends with that guy? Oh, I know him. He's actually a good guy. He probably just stressed out. The next one is unfortunately very funny. And I'm going to say that it's okay if we laugh a little bit because the creator also laughed a little bit.
You really hurt my feelings, and because I really liked you, you know. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings.
He turned her crying into dubstep. He cheated on me, I broke up with him, and then he proceeded to make an EDM song to a crying voicemail. Yeah, that guy sucks, but that was unfortunately very funny. Like if I got sent that, I would send it to everyone I know. We're gonna do 2 more, starting with one that got a comment that said, you know what? They could be lonelier. I'll drop a very small disclaimer now. I know a lot of lonely people. I feel pretty lonely most of the time. I sit in this room and I stare at a screen most of the day. The problem is how you vocalize it. I know a lot of people, both men and women, who are very lonely, who vocalize it as, I'm lonely and that sucks. I wish I had somebody. And they try. That is unfortunately just part of being a human. The problem exists when you go, I'm lonely and it's your fault. And it's usually men blaming women for what? Not being into them as people who generally tend to do the bare minimum. I was having this conversation with my friend, and I'm not going to name him because he is also a YouTuber, but he called me talking about how he thinks his standards are way too high for people. And he thinks that's why he's been single for 4 or 5 years. And I've seen this man over the last 2 years go on multiple first dates, and for whatever reason, it doesn't work out. I've seen him talk to multiple women. I've seen him be very, very nice. I've seen him like people who did not end up liking him back. And I've seen him become frustrated with himself. And I've seen him become frustrated with the process. I've seen him hate dating apps. And I've seen him go, you know what? I'm just going to be single, not even try for a little while. What I've never seen him do is sit back and go, women suck. It's their fault. They're awful. All they want to do is go have fun. And I'm the person that they're going to want to settle with in 20 years. All those random incel talking points. He called me the other day. He set out his standards for somebody that he wants to be with. And I nodded my head. And then he asked me if I thought his standards were too high, and I said no. There's nothing wrong with wanting a very specific kind of person and spending a very large portion of your life looking for that person. If he had reacted to his standards being high and being alone by going, dude, women suck. I hate women. The women that are into me aren't even attractive. I'd be like, okay, well, maybe if women that you don't think are attractive are the ones that are attracted to you, maybe you're not as attractive as you think you are. Or if he had said something like, well, they only want me for my money, I would have hit him with a, brother, you don't have money. I've had to cut his name out of this so many times. I'm just so used to saying his name. Anyway, the point of this is he has high standards. He's been single for a long time. He doesn't want to be single, and sometimes he's pretty lonely. But I don't think it's a problem because the way he approaches his standards is he says, this is what I want. I'm going to go get it. And while I'm in the process of going to get it, I'm not going to make it anyone else's problem. I'm not going to blame the women I want for not wanting me. I'm not going to hate the people I want to love me. And I'm not going to blame anyone else for my shortcomings. That one's funny because he's 5'7". And I sit back and I nod my head and I root him on. I hope he finds exactly what he's looking for. It becomes a problem when your reaction to the world not wanting you is to start swinging. You're going to face rejection. And if you're 5'7" shooting half-court shots, you're going to miss pretty much all of them. And that's all that is. And I don't remember how I got on this rant, so I hope I do when I'm editing or I have to cut this all out. I don't exactly remember the point I was trying to make. I think it is to say that if you are lonely as a person, it feels like it either just sucks, and I'm sorry for you, and I hope that that gets cleared up, or you've kind of earned it. The men in these videos so far should be lonely, should be lonelier. Every incel I've seen on the Other People's Lives podcast should be lonelier. If your entire personality is hating the people you wish you could pay to love you, you should be lonelier. And I'm so glad that the lonely women that I know, that I am friends with, have not settled for men like this, because they could. That's another incel talking point, is that a woman can have a man anytime they want. And if they're willing to settle for this, I think it may be true. I think the women that I know that want to be in relationships but are not could absolutely settle for men like this. But I'd rather be alone.
Okay,
Yeah, good for you.
are you done?
No, I'm not. Because you made this a point.
Never did. All I did
You
was ask
did.
you to clean
No,
your piss.
you did.
Oh, I forgot about this one. All I did was ask you to clean your piss. This man got drunk, peed in a corner. She woke him up and said, hey, there's other people in the house. Can you clean that? And he's mad about having to clean his own piss. Defend that. I've never had alcohol. I've never been drunk. So I don't know if you just like casually pee places. But I would like to think that I'm the kind of person to where if I do pee in a corner, on the floor, on the seat, I would clean it up. Sometimes when I'm sad, I'll play Wacko 2 and iMessage archery. And I don't always hit the target. Generally, I miss. So I understand maybe not making it to a toilet, especially if you're drunk. I don't understand getting mad about having to clean it up. And it's not like he actually cleans it up. He's just starting a fight about her bringing it up. No, don't tell me to clean my own piss. Brother, grow up. No, what's the point of having a girlfriend if she's not going to clean my own piss? I've not heard Aziz Ansari's voice in literal years, so I can't imagine that's good, but I went for it. Ladies, if you're single, stay single. You're dodging bullets.
Okay, so let's make my point very fucking clear.
Ooh, you tell him, girl.
I want you to clean your piss off of the floor in the corner by the dresser, which you just did, all in your slippers, all over your sweats.
Is there anything she said that doesn't make sense? If you pee in a corner as an adult, as someone probably over the age of 12, it should be your job and only your job to clean it up unless it is like a medical emergency, an incontinence issue.
All over my sweats.
Yes.
I'm degenerate. I'm nasty. You're big geek. Whatever.
I don't know if she said that to him before she started recording and he's now just repeating her, but I'm a degenerate. I'm nasty. Yeah, dude, you just pissed all over the floor and yourself. Why are you arguing about this? Yes, that's gross.
Good for you.
Don't care. Just clean it off the floor.
She's not calling him names. She's not yelling. She's very calm, matter of fact, going, all right, clean it up.
That's all I'm asking. There's bleach with cleaner with bleach right behind you.
I used to have a dog that would pee whenever she got nervous or excited or sometimes just for funsies. And so we had a carpet cleaner. We had a way to remove pee from the carpet, and it was not a long process. If I was completely unprepared, it took 2 minutes. Maybe you peed a little bit more than a tiny dog, but brother, it's minutes of work. Clean up your own urine. You could have been done by now instead of arguing about it.
Shit on me.
No, I asked you to do a
No,
simple
no,
thing.
no.
I asked you to clean up after yourself.
I know he said shit on me as an expression, right? But he just pissed on himself, so it kind of sounds like it's just a kink now. Like, oh no, just peed myself. Hope somebody doesn't come and poop on me. No, okay, it was a joke. No, dude, I'll clean it. When I was young, I thought that people pooped on each other when they loved each other because Family Guy told me so.
Chris, honey, what's wrong?
Anna took a dump on me.
You guys like how I just make you watch Family Guy with me? Congrats, we're in a cutaway now.
Oh, she dumped you. That's what you meant to say.
What's the difference?
Well, what you said first was when two grown-ups love each other very much, sometimes they show it by... Yeah, never mind.
So as a child, I just thought that's what adults did when they loved each other. And now as an adult, I know that's what they do when they love each other. Stop, all right? Don't poop on people. Or do. I don't care. That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, no
That's
shit.
it.
And I was gonna do that regardless.
When?
But for you to...
Hours later? Because you went back to bed.
Yeah, no shit. Because
Okay.
I was physically intoxicated. But
Yes.
for you to...
This isn't about a blame game, okay?
I didn't say it was a blame game.
Okay, this doesn't matter.
You did all that shit.
Did what?
So
I didn't pee on the floor.
No. I get it. You didn't pee on the floor. No, I get it. But for you to physically be like, everything that I put on you is on you.
Brother, what does that mean? Clean up the piss or make a point. Pick one.
I never said that. I asked you to clean
Is
your
it
piss off
not?
the floor. Why are you yelling? Again.
And now it's, why am I?
Yes, because you want to invite everybody in the household into
I
whatever.
didn't invite anybody
Some
in the household.
you are
to-
you are.
Okay, they could have been done 2 minutes ago if he had just cleaned it.
If you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation, but we're gonna have it level-headedly and quietly because it is
I've
5
been
o'clock in the
trying
morning.
to have that since the beginning of the moment. And
I don't want to have a conversation until you clean your literal fucking piss off the floor.
Michaela, I would literally clean this whole house because
I
all
don't care about the whole house.
No.
Bro, what is going on? She's just asking you to clean your piss, and you're like, I guess I'll clean the whole house then. I'm trying to have a level-headed conversation, but let me start yelling. Like, I don't understand this man at all. You could have just cleaned your piss and not have this posted about you. How easy would that have been, dude? There's also a woman on here who was staying over at her boyfriend's house, and when he went to work, she decided to be really nice and clean his house, and then found a bunch of piss bottles under his bed. All right, so I saved like 20 videos to go through. Most of them are pretty similar. They're just a man yelling, breaking things, holding on to a woman's purse and saying, no, you're not getting out of my car. They're all pretty bad, and I've learned not to trust anybody named Kyle. But we're gonna end it with one from a creator called I Am the Soul Light.
I'm gonna say this one time.
Okay.
And only one time. If anything that I've ever told you comes out and is spoken to me by anyone, we have a problem.
Okay, Michael.
Or Michael with a Y. If you can say to someone, if what I say or do to you is found out by anyone else, we are going to have a problem. If you know that what you're doing is such an issue that other people should not know about it, maybe stop doing that thing.
I'm sorry
Do you
that this is how
understand?
you feel.
100%.
Okay.
No, I need you to say that I will not do that. Because
I don't
promise
have
you,
any plans of telling anybody anything about you. I really don't care because you've lied to me and you've tricked me and you've been that person. Like I think I've been putting off putting off the signs onto everyone else, but in reality, I've been like covering my own eyes, hoping that like you felt the same way. And I think I'm just finally realizing, no, you're right.
About what?
About you. Like you put on a great show. You like to say things to make me want to be involved, but then whenever it doesn't fit your narrative anymore and you're ready to go, then
Same thing about you.
no, it's not.
It's the
I've
same
been
thing about- Chelsea,
literally
you think
in
that
this for this
you
whole
have-
time.
you have,
I've been
like,
the only
you
one to
have
care.
adopted this new like religion or
It's
whatever.
not religion.
And like this belief system. Then you have adopted this new belief
No,
system.
I have belief in
and have
myself.
Just,
I have trust in
and
myself.
have just continue like.
I have trust in myself.
And
keep
you're
trying
interrupting
to-
me again. I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
He interrupts her. She interrupts him back, I guess, which at that point I think is her responding to him, responding to her, and then says, if you interrupt me again, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. A minute after saying, nothing I say to you better ever come out. What's embarrassing for all of us men is that when this becomes a trend, there are more than enough videos for it to actually be a trend. There are more than enough videos of women being harassed, attacked, trapped, yelled at. And I've gone through so many of them now, and what's even worse is that these comment sections are mostly women. Every now and then there are a few men who are like, hey, sorry you went through that. But even then, most of the men in these comment sections are like, bro, that sucks, but not all men, by the way. She also in there said, I'm sorry that's how you feel, which is great. I love when women thrive in men's fields. But how do you as a man get here? You're not 19. You're not 16. You're not a child unsure of how to handle your own emotions. You're a full-grown adult man, and you're acting this way, bro? If this is the kind of person you are, you deserve nothing. And that cannot be a hot take.
Are you?
I promise. I promise. I promise.
Okay, go ahead.
Interrupt me again while I'm talking.
I mean, you're trying to tell me that I've
Interrupt me.
adopted a new religion, or
You
that
keep-
I'm like trying to like force something in
That's
myself.
not. You won't even let me.
Brother, you're gonna keep interrupting her after telling her not to interrupt you. Why? So you can bait her into interrupting you so that you can hit her like you said you would?
finish because you keep fucking interrupting me.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That too, he keeps talking about being interrupted by her, but he's not the one talking. She's the one trying to make a point, and he's responding to her by interrupting her.
Like, do you really think I'm scared? Do you think I'm scared of jail? You think I'm scared of jail?
I mean, no, you've been before. You were literally trying to shoot somebody last night, so no, I don't think you
Okay,
care.
don't interrupt me again.
I'm gonna just walk away, and you should
I don't
just go
want to.
deal with your own stuff alone. Like, you can take your motorcycle, and you can take your life,
I'm not
and you
going
can
nowhere.
leave.
You leave.
Why?
You leave.
Okay, I'll leave with all the kids. I'll leave.
No, you leave. Just you.
No, nobody wants to be
Why? So you could do to the kids what you're doing to her, dude? Grow up.
with you. Who wants to be with the person that does all of this? That creates the chaos? Who wants to be with that? What are you talking about? I know. I know. Like, I thought that you were done creating the chaos. Thought you were trying to be better, to get rid of all the stuff from the past.
When you're more worried about people learning about your behavior than your behavior itself, you might have a problem. In these videos, I've talked a lot about how lucky I think I am. I've gone through more than enough things in my life that I don't think anyone should have, and I don't ever want to go through them again. But I have a dog who loves me, named Toast, who is not afraid of me. I've been in a long-term relationship with the most beautiful person I've ever seen, and she's wonderful. I actually texted her. She's at work. And I texted her if I got drunk, pissed on the floor, passed out, if she would wake me up to clean it or just clean it. She didn't text me back, so maybe it's a one-sided relationship. But I'm very lucky to have her. I have a lot of great friends, regardless of how lonely they are. And I put myself in a position to where, regardless of how lonely I am, I never actually have to be alone. I'm lucky enough that in my romantic relationships, I've never had someone treat me this way, and I've never treated someone that way. As far as I know anyway. These TikTok trends would not work if there were not enough men for them to be about. If this sound went viral and 4 people posted about it, okay, that sucks, but it's 4 people. But when you can have hundreds of women put out video after video after video of their partners being awful, abusive, a kind of person nobody wants to admit that they are, then we have a much bigger issue. It is not enough for me to just sit here and say, I'm not one of these people. I don't know how to fix the problem. I would like to just believe that I am the person that's not the problem. I do not surround myself with people who are the problem. And if any of my friends were like this, they would immediately not be my friends. I wouldn't go into people's comment sections and say, well, not all men. It sucks to be on the side of TikTok, to where things like this end up on my FYP, but I guess I would rather be on that side than to pretend it doesn't exist. And it's like a few of the other videos. If this was reversed, if the trend was Women of the Year, and it was a bunch of men posting their women doing exactly what these men are doing in these videos, I would want better for them. I would say the women in these situations are the problem. But it just isn't. It's not 50-50. If you're a man, do better. And I don't mean just don't be this person. There's a bare minimum so many people aspire to get to, and you just have to do better than that. Learn to cook. Be nice to your romantic partner. Clean up your own piss. Do not physically and verbally threaten the people you're supposed to love. And I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for spending time with me. This is my favorite thing to do. You're my favorite people to do it with. Toast is on the floor if you want to say goodbye to her. This one sucked just because like these are the people who turn around and say, yeah, I'm a good guy. Or these men will get cheated on by women who are afraid to leave but end up finding someone who's actually nice to them. And then they go, wow, all women are cheaters. It's just so dumb. And I know I'm going to get people in the comment sections defending so many of the men being like, well, we don't know what the women did. Shut up, dude. There's a reason you're alone. You deserve to be lonelier. All right, get out of here. Or I'm going to pay someone to get drunk in your house and pee in your corners. Goodbye.